Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Health, Wealth and Happiness with James and Joe.
Hello, we're back for more.
So, okay, what we're going to talk about today, James?
We're talking about tips to look after your mental health during being in lockdown. That's what we're going to go over today. We've got quite a few and we'll go into detail with them. But yeah, kick us off, Joe. You hit this off. What's the first tip that you recommend?
Well, look, I suppose really, obviously, with everything that's going off at the minute, obviously, I know it's easy to focus on the negatives, on what's going wrong and what you've not got. So, actually, really just trying to make this, disclaimer, I am far from an expert when it comes to the human psyche. Okay, as I've said to you numerous times before, James, I'm a caveman when it comes to this sort of thing. My emotional IQ is very low, but I suppose these are things that work for me, and these are things that help me get through the day, help me feel better, and help me have more focus.
For sure.
So first things first, for me, I'm big on routine. Okay,
Nice.
I'm OCD with it, and I know some people are like, oh no, I'm a creative soul. It's like, no, piss off, you're not. Right? As human beings, we crave routine and we crave structure, and this working from home thing for me, it's not brand new. So as you know yourself, James, like I said, so
Sure.
I moved back to the UK. I've been living in the Middle East for the past 10 years. I moved back to the UK in over Christmas, January time. And I'm in financial services. So for the last 10 years, every single January, we have a big blowout at Christmas. I think we then all get back to the office the first week of Jan. And the first day we have a big rah sales meeting, and then boom, you're in and you attack the day. My first working day of the new year was I trained. So I went to the gym, then I got back. I then had a shower, had a shave. I then walked 5 steps down my hallway, opened that door and sat at this desk, and I'm like, right, what now? And it just felt strange, if I'm honest. And I felt lost. I felt like I didn't have a purpose. And I was having regular crisis calls with the guys at work. I weren't happy, but I couldn't understand why. And it was only when I really got into a routine again, that all that sort of like cloud lifted, and I just felt so much better. And I can imagine so many people, and it took me a few weeks, it took me about a month to do that and to get that in place. And I imagine so many people now are going through that, what I went through just a few months ago.
For sure.
So, okay, my routine then. So I'm up at the same time every single day. So I'm up at 5:30 every single day. I walk the dogs. I then get back from walking the dogs. I then go to the gym. I'm very fortunate in that I've got a home gym. So even during the lockdown, I have an hour every single morning in the gym. I then come out of the gym. I then get showered, shaved, and I get dressed. I get ready as if I'm going into the office. So I put and I've had a few jibes from some of the lads about this. But I would literally sit in my suit in my home office as if I'm getting dressed to go to work. And for me, this is really important 100%. Because, again, it gives you that purpose. So every single day I have a shower. Every single day I have a shave. Every single day I put my suit on. And don't get me wrong, I have a lot of video calls with clients. So I have to look the part when I'm doing that because I'm in financial services, I'm a financial advisor. But even when I'm not, even when my first video call is not till midday, I'm still in the office at 7:45 in the morning, sat in my suit, because for me, it's like a switch goes in my head. It's like, boom, work mode, and it stops you turning into a slob as well.
I think that's the thing, if you don't mind coming in here, it's what you're naturally seeing is you're controlling the frame. You're not allowing this, pandemic or, lockdown to rule us, where we just fall into bad habits, destructive habits, and get lazy. And then really our output, our efficiency is just going down the pot. 100%. So I second that. Routine and structure is everything. In setting yourself up, controlling the frame. And this is what we see, don't we? Like you just hit the nail on the head here, is that so many people, as soon as they wake up, they'll just roll on their side. They'll go onto social media. And before they know it, they're already in this, they're already being dragged along with the leash, and they're not actually controlling the day, they're not actually controlling the frame. So I think routine and structure, I'm seconding that. I think that's a great tip, and really just control your variables, get it done.
Yeah,
Sure.
and I mean, and on that as well. I mean, look, I've far from got it right, and a prime example of that were just 2 days ago. So, my wife Laura, she went to a family funeral a couple of days ago, and I had the kids while she was there, and so I blocked all my diary out. I didn't work for the day, and it got to like the afternoon, the mid afternoon. Laura got back, and as funerals go, it went as well as they possibly could, especially in the current circumstances. But I was just like, and I said to Laura, like, and it sounds really selfish, the fact she just got back from funeral, but I was like, I felt lost today. Like, it was just strange because it was a Tuesday and a working day, and I'm quite OCD with work anyway, and I hate wasting time. Not that was wasting time. It's probably the wrong way of saying it, but it was just, my routine had been knocked. And again, for me, it just highlighted the importance of having that routine and how it helps keep me sane and keep me focused. Yeah. I know you talk about rituals, don't you, in the morning?
Yeah. I think 100%. I think that comes on to probably another tip that we've got here is, it sort of comes in like rituals, gratitude, affirmation sort of thing in, being present with the moment, what we're grateful for, but also reaffirming where we're going and who we are. I think that's really important. I do this with my guys, my clients, and we set affirmations of who we are and who we're becoming, and we practice that each morning. It sort of is a nice way, sort of ties into the first thing of that morning routine. We finish our affirmations, and then the morning routine's done. We're off. We're out the house. We get going. I think that's imperative, really. So it goes back to sort of, tip one here. Without that structure, without that routine, we're going to become a little bit lazy. We're going to become a little bit more complacent. Not going to get as much done. I don't know. For you personally, gratitude, what is that a tip for you? Do you personally do that yourself?
If you'd have asked me a few months ago, I'd have said it's all shit. All this waking up every morning saying what you're grateful for. I've never believed in it until recently. Since all this has happened, and it has made me realize just how lucky I am. I mean, look, the people, if you're watching this or if you're listening to this, it means you can listen to this or you can watch this, which means you've got a device that you can watch or listen to this on, which means that you are already in the 1%. The sheer odds that you were born are like 400 trillion to 1. It's ridiculous. Okay. So you don't realize how lucky you are. And I suppose when you put it in perspective, put it into perspective, it could be a lot worse. We're stressing at the minute that we can't get bog roll. We're stressing at the minute that we can only go out once a day to do as exercise. And all of a sudden, everyone's turned into a runner. So my house, my office here where I sit, that way there's just fields forever. That way there's like a town and a village. And this last 2 weeks, I've never seen as many people pass my house in running shoes. I'm like, oh, so many new runners. And it's because you've got to stay inside. But yeah, like I said, look, seriously, just think how lucky you are. And again, I keep turning it back to me because I'm so narcissistic. But look, I'm at home. My family's safe. My family's healthy. So, yeah.
I think what you're saying is it ties on to another tip. It's pretty much the same. It's language, isn't it? It's, people say, oh, yeah, we're stuck at home. We'll say it's flipping your language, your perspective to say, listen, you get to stay at home. You get to stay with your family. You get more time with your family. It's seeing the opportunity, what's come from this, as opposed to it's all doom and gloom. Because our biggest message, why we're doing this podcast, guys, is because we want to help flip your perspective. And the guys who flip their perspective and see this, these are the guys or ladies or whoever you are who come out the other side and you thrive and you flourish. Whereas everyone else who stays in that sort of scarcity mindset, doubt, fear, and uncertainty, you're just going to be ruled by it. And, it's that we're trying to flip from scarcity to abundance, where we can just really just like see the opportunity. And, you know, because why are we all doing this? Why are we all doing this is just to be happier, right? That's what life's about. Memories, happiness. That's why we're doing this.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, look, you also think about, there's never been a better time to be alive. Do you know what I mean? With technology these days, we're so connected. Imagine being born 100 years ago. Chances are you lived in squalor, and if you got a cold, you died. If you broke your ankle, you died. It got infected and you died. Do you know what I mean? If you had kids, I think the mortality rate for kids to reach the age of 5 was 2 out of 3. So if you had children, okay, your kids had a 1 in 3 chance of being dead before they were 5. Yeah. Imagine that. And but like now, technology. It's never been easier to pick up the phone or pick up. I don't even know where my phone is. Wherever it's gone, pick up a device. And you can speak to anyone anywhere in the world. My 83-year-old nan, who thought the internet were a place where kids go at the weekend, right? We've set her up on FaceTime. So we've got her an iPad. We've set her up on FaceTime, so she can now pick up her iPad, which she's got written down on a piece of paper, the step-by-step instructions on how to do it. But she can see me, Laura, the kids, any of her other grandkids or great-grandkids at the touch of a button. So, granted, we've created a monster because she's never off it, bless her. She loves it. And if she can do it, anybody can.
Yeah. I think that's it, isn't it? Underlying it's complacency. It's people getting complacent with what you've got and what you've got at your disposal. You know, you go back to the whole bog roll situation, people going out for bog roll, but people realizing, you know, in survival, what do you need? Food, water, and shelter. But people are obsessed with, you know, bog roll. You know, you're laughing. You're in a good place. You're fortunate. And we've got to see that, shift that perspective to see really, you know, because listen, if you're going to get ruled by this pandemic and lockdown, God, man, you're going to suffer. And it's really getting hold of it, getting a grip of it and shifting your perspective so you can actually have that inner peace and happiness and actually perform better. You know, that's what we're about as well. Yeah,
definitely. Well, I must admit, I did panic buy an industrial size of Yorkshire tea bags a couple of weeks ago.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so if we're, I feel like this is therapy, to be fair.
Why Yorkshire tea? Why Yorkshire tea?
Because there is no other tea, James. That's why.
What about PG tips or anything like that? It's just Yorkshire. Okay.
That didn't even warrant a response. If
you're learning already more about Joey. So this is.
If I drank PG tips or Tetleys, I'd be cut out of my dad's will. So.
All right, there you go. Well.
Yeah.
I know we were previously discussing before we hopped on another tip that, you know, is big for you. You're saying about the fitness side of things for you personally. Talk us about that tip for you.
Yeah, I mean, look. Okay, so how James and I met. So as I mentioned previously, so I think it was mentioned before. So James is in the health and fitness industry. James is an online PT transformational coach. James is a fitness wizard, right? So, and he messaged me out of the blue last summer. So last summer, my mum had just been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, which means it's terminal. I.e., there is no cure. And I'll not say I was depressed because I think that word's thrown around too much, but it really put me in a bad place. It came completely out of the blue. She was 57 at the time. It's no age. And I was massively overweight. I was sort of unhappy with myself and just sort of everything was going wrong. And then James reached out to me, and I've had thousands of these messages before other people, and I was skeptical at the time. And I just thought, what's the worst that can happen? So I signed up with James, and cliche as it sounds, on my fitness journey, which I don't like that phrase because I think it's quite a wanky term. Told you about the language. It's changed my life. So it's given me purpose. It's made me much more focused. I've lost almost 26 kilo in weight in the last 7 months. I've lost about 10 inches off my waist. I'm sleeping better at night. I'm more focused at work. I've got more energy during the day. Strange as it sounds, even though I'm working out for an hour every single day, which again is part of my routine, I feel like I've got much more time. I've created time. So that's my experience of fitness. But I'll pass you over to the Ginger Fitness Wizard so he can give you his take on it.
I'm with you on that as well. I think in the simplicity right now with what we're talking about, how can we look after your mental health? You know, the physical health and just general movement is going to help with that. If we're sitting on a desk 24/7, sitting on the couch, simply, we're not going to get those endorphins. We're not going to get the body moving, and the mind's just going to be at itself with itself. You know, and I think that's the simplicity of it. But yeah, I mean, you know, having a goal in mind, you know, just a fitness goal in mind, you know, something to work towards during like this period of time is just changing the channel, isn't it? It's just, you know, think about something else and it ties into that first tip that you're saying, wasn't it? You know, routine and structure. It gives you purpose. It gives you something to work towards. It gives you a goal in mind. Because I know, knowing Joe quite well, he's similar to me in the sense that chases progression, chases goals, wants to get better all the time, which I love. You know, I'm the same as Joe. And that's everything. Finding something that you can really work towards, I think, is really my sort of tip stemming off the fitness side of things. Having this picture that you want to aim towards. Because that's the thing though, right? Like we're in lockdown and we've got 4 elements to health, haven't we? We've got financial health, we've got physical health, we've got emotional health, and we've got spiritual health. Okay.
Health, wealth, and happiness.
There you go. There you go. Number 1 on the podcast stuff. Something like that. I don't know. Anyway, but you got these 4 pillars, haven't you? And, you know, these are pillars that we want to service. And especially 3 of them we can really dive into and put systems and routines around to enhance them moving forward. So when we come out the other side, we're in a far greater position and we're healthier and we're happier. It's what we're preaching for sure. Yeah, 100%. Mm-hmm. I wanted to add a tip in here. And it's something that we've already talked about, but I wanted to give some sort of vulnerability from where I used to be. So we're talking like maybe 6 years ago. On the whole language side of things we spoke about, you know, we're saying like, you get to stay at home, you know, you get to spend time with your family. And I think, you know, I can put my hands up, you know, six years ago, I was nowhere near as positive and out, you know, abundance right now in a state. I was probably scarcity. I was letting doubt, fear, anxiety rule me. And always seeing the, you know, the negative side of things and being defined that way. And it's just miserable, really. And I can just put my hands up and say, I know what it feels like to be there, but I also know what it feels like when I've shifted my perspective, like we're sort of preaching right now, the quality of life. God, it's 2 different things. But our message in that is that you have the choice. You have the power. You know, as daft, as cliche as it sounds, like you get to choose how you feel. And if you're seeing that, and like how I was seeing it, you've got to call yourself out on that bullshit, and you've just got to put your hands up and say, listen, do I want to continue doing this? You know, is this sustainable? Is this going to give me happiness? So I think a big part of these tips to looking after your mental health is reflection and analysis of where you're at and where you want to be, and then putting the tools in place. What are your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, I completely agree. And look, I'm far from perfect with this. Just ask my missus. Just ask Laura. I'm emotional. I wear my heart on my string. I wear my heart on my sleeve. And little things piss me off and can quite easily ruin my day. But I've sort of tried training myself now that if these... I try and put it in perspective. So if something little pisses me off, I try and take a step back and take myself out of that situation and ask myself, in the grand scheme of things, is it really that bad? And it's same with me and Laura. I mean, Laura and I are very similar, which is great. Not so great when we're having a tiff or an argument about something, because we're both as stubborn as each other as well. Yeah. And we've all done it. The amount of times you've had a massive Barney with your other half, and then you go to bed not talking. The next morning, good luck trying to remember what the Barney was initially about. We've had some flaming rows, and when you actually put it back, it's gone back to either me or Laura not doing or doing something really petty or really stupid, like not moving a plate or whatever it may be. So again, it's just a case that for me, when I'm in that sort of frame of mind, which I very easily get in, by the way, I just try and take a step back, take myself out of it, and just ask myself, is it really that important, or is it really that bad? And that usually snaps me out. That and music.
I think that's, I'm with you on that as well. Like we said about doing what makes you happy, what gives you that quick win, that quick buzz, what changes the channel for you. Same here, music, a bit of house, a bit of techno. So like they just say that again.
It's Stevie Wonder, Motown.
It's Stevie Wonder, fair enough. Each to their own. But yeah, no, whatever changes the channel, what gets that quick win and then you're back into it. Yeah, no, I think that's a great point. I think what a big one is, I think really is be careful what you consume during this period of time. We're in lockdown right now and so many people sharing different things to different people in WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, you name it. So much, fake news going around and also genuine news, but people are sharing it around. But, my biggest message on that, and I sort of have the revelation is that in this period of time in lockdown, it's the people you unfollow that's going to be more influential to you than the people you follow. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, exactly the same. Unfortunately, fear sells. So it's like, probably a bad analogy this day and age, but if you're walking past a newspaper stand and you see on the front page of the newspaper, sunny day, you'll just walk straight past and not think twice. However, if you see on the newspaper, I don't know, world record storm coming, you're going to pick it up and because you want to know when that storm's coming and you're going to want to know where it's affecting. So unfortunately, it's just the way we're wired that we're automatically attracted to negativity and we're attracted to fear. Because the two things that drive people is greed and fear. And unfortunately, fear is a bigger driver for most people. So, yeah, obviously understand what's going on, understand what this means, but just have a day off the news. Have a break from it all and turn that off. Turn the notifications off on your watch. Because that thing, when this all started, was driving me insane. Because you get a ping on it from the Telegraph telling you how many people died. 10 seconds later, you get a ping from Sky News. Guess what? Telling you how many people died. 10 seconds after that, ping again, Guardian. Guess how many people's died? Just be very, like James said, be very careful what you consume, which I suppose is why we're doing this, to try and spread a bit of love, spread a bit of positivity. Yeah. So if you only listen to one thing today, make it this podcast.
For sure. 100%. Excellent. I think that sort of builds on to maybe one of the final points we have, really, with what you're saying about, what you're consuming. We're all guilty of it. We spend so much time on our phones, like you say, the Apple Watch, everything else. And, even if you've got a job on the online side of things as well, where you just always attached to your phone, actually having like a time blocked period of time where you have like an hour or 2 hours where you just literally turn everything off or don't put your phone away. I could even benefit from that. I'm going to put my hand up and say, listen, I could probably do this better, really. And I just know full well that would give me so much stress relief.
Yeah.
And it's almost like you want to book a meeting with yourself, don't you? You want to actually say, listen, let's have a 30-minute meeting with yourself where you can just take everything away, distractions away, and just wind down a little bit. Yeah. We're all guilty of it, aren't we?
Yeah. I try and, for me, it's trying to be present as well. So I know the joke saying men can't multitask. I really can't.
I can't either. I
have the attention span of a goldfish. It's really bad. Yeah. and Laura reckons I've got ADHD, but when I'm not great at it, and I get told off all the time from Laura, but when I'm with the kids, I try and have my phone down. I try and ignore emails. Yeah. Or when I'm doing emails, I try and turn notifications off on everything else, because if I'm writing especially a long-winded email, which I hate doing, by the way, if I'm writing a long-winded email and then my phone pings and it's a WhatsApp, I'll pick up my phone, I'll open the WhatsApp, and it's just delaying time, if I'm honest. And then the amount of times I then forget I'm writing that email, it's ridiculous. So I try and focus on one thing at a time. Because if I sort of spread my attention, it just disappears.
100%, becoming efficient with your time. And that goes back to your first tip. Everything goes back to your first tip: routine, structure, laying it out so you can become more efficient in what you're doing. Because I think what we're seeing here, I picked up on it early from what you were saying here, is that I think a lot of people listening into this podcast probably agree with us. Let us know. Is that the days with lockdown, they're becoming a blur. You said to me, it was Tuesday morning, and you were like, it doesn't feel right. You said to Laura, listen, I don't know, I haven't felt right. You know, it's the routine's not quite there. The days, if you allow it to, the days will become a blur. And I got hold of that pretty quickly when Corona was starting to happen. I was like, Jesus, blurs are going, you know, days are going to blur. I need to get hold of it straight away. Had a word with myself, got some routine, got some structure. And I don't want to downplay coronavirus. It's real, it's horrible, but I'm carrying on as normal. I'm just operating as normal. I'm just moving forward, just like it was before. And that's not for me to be not sensitive to what's going on. I really am. It's horrible. But at the same time, it goes back to what Joe's saying here, is that you can let this rule you. You can let this, you know, beat you down, or you carry on as normal. You keep moving forward, one foot in front of the other. See the opportunity in this situation. Waffling on too much, aren't I?
A little bit. Right. Well, on that note, look, guys, I think that's about it from us. And James, I would ask you if you've got anything else to add. You probably have, but should we just cut this?
Yeah, I don't want to hear it. No, I enjoyed today. It was good fun. And yeah, we've got more stuff on the way, more live guests on the way as well. Looking forward to it. It's going to be big.
Yep. So remember, guys, health, wealth, and happiness with James and Joe. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Much love.
Guys. See you later.